Okay, hello. We're most definitely live right now. I could even see my own facial expressions in the live thingy. That's fun. Anyways, 3.5 awaits. I'm gonna try and finish as much as possible of it tonight. I do not know will I finish the whole thing. And I may need to take a break at some point because I have this cat sat on me and he didn't let me go anywhere for a very long time now. Ah, Magnanimous! Just a hero I wanted to see. Would you mind doing me a small favor? Everybody always wants me to do some favors, but first of all, yeah, the microphone is going. That's going. Everything's launched. Okay. That is good. It's because whenever I record a review or whatever beforehand, I have to switch off my mic in order to just have the game audio. And afterwards I sometimes forget to switch it back on. I need you to meet me at the Diamond Forge. This won't take long, I promise. I completely forgot that this quest point still had some filler! Woo! I remember 3.5 being quite important. We literally finished everything else. I just heard a really weird noise. Did I pause everything correct? And again. I am gonna assume that I am haunted. Yeah. That is probably the best assumption that I can have right now. Thought for a second that I am hearing a very odd noise of Skype. Of all things, and having in mind that my mother did not Skype me yesterday, I'm quite worried about that. She normally always Skypes me every Sunday, so when she doesn't, sounds like something bad might have happened. Or she could have forgot, or she may be busy, or she may be feeling ill. You know, lots of stuff, but you can't help and have a stupid brain that just goes, something bad must have happened. Where the hell is the Diamond Forge? Hataru, why would you divert me to somewhere that I do not know how to reach? Also, just in case... There we go. That's back to our normal sound. Right? Right. I'm sorry to drag you away from your duties, but as I said, this won't take long. I just need you to stand perfectly still for a few moments. Right, everyone, ready to work. No squirming now! Oh, and you might want to close your eyes. That sounds like it's outfit day. There, all finished. The warrior blights every measurement from heroic head to intrepid toe. Well, wouldn't you like to know? All in good time, Magnanimous, all in good time. Satoru is the one that always makes the oddest outfits. That's what happens. Aha! Found you! Alpinode wants everyone to Solar for a meeting. I don't know what it's about, but he seemed to think it was very important. Go on, we have everything we need. No sense in keeping everyone waiting. How to minimize movement in order to not make your walls or microphone appear 101. That is precisely what I'm doing when my webcam is on.
Did we miss anything?
We would not presume to begin without you, Ida. Eorzea has returned to the Waking Sands, but everyone else is now present.
Yes, but for what exactly? We all have duties to attend to, Alphino, so you may dispense with the preamble.
Thank you, Eorzea. It is the very subject of those duties which compelled me to call this gathering. Though the Warriors of Darkness no longer pose a threat, Eorzea's many troubles demand no less of our attention. And while I stand by the decision to approach each task as we see fit, I fear our effectiveness will ultimately be diminished should we continue to act in ignorance of each other's efforts. Thus, I propose we elect a successor to Minfilia. Not to serve as a fully fledged antecedent, perhaps, but as a coordinator of operations.
Are you electing yourself?
Well, then the decision seems clear. No one else has shown any enthusiasm for the role, and judging by your performance at our previous meeting, you would seem the perfect candidate. You always did have a flair for politics.
I did not mean to... That was not my intention.
Well, now you have the role. Enjoy!
As commander of the Crystal Braves comprehensively demonstrated, I lack the qualities required for such an office. I would much prefer to remain as I am now, a soldier in the field, so to speak.
Should none of our numbers step forward? Must we then constrain some unwilling candidate to take up the position?
Well, based on merit alone, a certain adventurer would be my choice. Though I concede she might struggle to balance her new responsibilities with, let me see, slaying primals, thwarting legatuses, and feeding the orphan poor.
Thancred makes a good point. Any who would wear such a mantle would be bound by its obligations. Have we not become sufficiently familiar with each other's methods to act without an overseer? At present, I see no cause to so willingly limit one of our number.
Oh my goodness, you're... Help! I need some help here!
We might want to rush out, yeah.
Tataru, are you all right?
Me? I'm fine. It's this poor girl who just staggered in and collapsed on the floor that I'm worried about.
Naoko! God, how did... Yashola! Please, you have to help her! Kral, a hand if you would. Let us see about closing these wounds.
Magic!
Now, we staunched the bleeding, but it may be a while before you can move about again. Though having seen your wounds, I'm surprised you are still moving at all. Thank you. My message. It was too important to delay. I took the shortest route I could, though I knew it was more heavily patrolled. As you can see, my efforts at evasion were not entirely successful.
Honestly, you're too brave for your own good. What was so urgent that you needed to fight half the Empire to get here? You could have been killed.
I'm sorry, Ida. I had good reason. But I imagine your friends are wondering who this bloody mess of a Mikote is. My name is Minago, and I belong to the Alamegan Resistance. I came to warn Ida and Papalimo about one of our leaders. A man who calls himself the Griffin. He's always been dangerous, but he's planning something new. Something reckless.
The Griffin, you say? I've heard the name. Rumor has it your man is eager to test his claws.
Aye, and on no easy target. He means to assault Belsar's wall from the Alamegan side.
But what does the Griffin possibly hope to gain from such an attack?
From what I understand, he wants the fires of war to spread to Eorzea. And for that, he needs to control the border with Gridania.
So, he means to spark a conflict between the Alliance and the Imperial forces stationed in Alamigo, to have Eorzea's armies aid in the liberation effort, whether they will it or no.
If anyone's wondering why am I so quiet, it's because I was never one for politics, so I always have, bit of a difficulties knowing what to say in, like, all of these, you know, talky things. It's like, fair enough. Right, I suppose. That's nice. And stuff. Blank stare.
His plan is flawed. Even should the Resistance succeed in occupying the wall, they would not be able to hold it. Imperial reinforcements would drive them out within a week.
Be that as it may, if there is even a chance that this scheme could bring about an escalation in hostilities between Eorzea and the Empire, the Alliance must be informed.
Agreed. I should depart for Lim-Sulaminsa forthwith and seek an audience with the Admiral. Thancred, Uldar is yours. Alphino and Alize, make haste to the Twelveswood and notify the Elder Seedseer of the danger to Gridania. She would duly call a council of the Alliance leaders, whom you must be ready to receive. You will be our voice in Ishgard. Explain the situation to Sir Emmerich and encourage him to send an envoy.
Yay, Ishgard!
To Taru, Krile, I leave the care of our injured messenger to you. See that she remains quiescent and her wounds closed. I believe that covers everything. Let us be about our tasks.
I suspect the ill tidings from Girabania will be held as a turning point. The beginning to a bloody end. The business of war was ever conducted with the coin of self-sacrifice.
Is that Papalymo? Was it Papalymo speaking for the past
'Twas Master
2.5 patches
himself who taught us that such costs are not to be ignored or denied.
Oh god, it explains why we don't have a narrator for Stormblood. I completely forgot.
And so, I shall embrace them. When the time comes, I will make my choice, as you will yours.
Oh, I ain't feeling very happy about our narrator. That's not very happy narration. The least we can do is teleport to the Foundation and inform Ishgard as normal. Proceed like nothing horrible is happening. Hello, Hitsura. You wanna read in the chat? Have fun with that. I'm finishing 3.5 at the moment. Rather, I'm refinishing 3.5 at the moment. Wonder should I actually take up Shadowbringers as a new game plus, or should I do it on this character? I kinda wanna do it on this character, but at the same time I wouldn't need to regrind the levels if I did it on my main. Greetings, Warrior of Light! What business brings you to Ishgard? Well, I have to inform Sir Emmerich. Yeah, about the fact that they're gonna assault the wall! Yo, do you have any knights to spare? It is good to see you, my friend. This is but a pity it must be under such circumstances. Had Lucia not informed me of the urgency of your suit, I would certainly have sent for some wine. But to business. I thank you for bringing these developments in Alamigo to our attention. That must look so friggin' goddamn far to you. You must be like, I don't know, why am I getting involved? Ishgard will of course send an envoy to attend the council in Gridania. I cannot say who will represent us, however, as the choice is not mine to make. Not mine alone, at any rate. Given the imminence of the threat, we may forgo the formalities of full assembly, but I will still need to consult my counterpart in the House of Commons prior to proceeding. Will you permit me some time to make necessary arrangements? Thank you. Our representative, whoever we select, will require a suitable escort. Make your preparations and inform Sir Handaloop that he is to lead in our absence. Yes, Lord Commander. Magnanimous, pray accompany Lucia to the gates of judgment and make ready to depart for Gridania. I will have our envoy join you as soon as I can. Hurry, speed you on your way. If you have no other business in the city, join me at the gates of judgment. We must be ready to depart the instant the envoy arrives. Ooh, I will get to ride the choo-choo train with them! Rather than, you know, just teleport to Gridania on my own. I hope they actually get me all the way to Gridania and inside the chamber. That would be very convenient. Kinda hate when you have to run to places. Especially if you have to run to places twice. We meet again. As it happens, my counterpart in the House of Commons agreed that I should act as his guardian viceroy. I wonder, was he like, nah, mate, I can't do that posh talky talk. I wouldn't give a damn what's happening over there. Not I concede that there was ever any real doubt. As Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, it is my duty to sanction any military cooperation. But that as it may, I could not in good conscience make the decision alone, not with the ink scarce dry in the Republic's Book of Statuettes. I trust you understand, my friend. Alas, I must test your patience still further by making a brief stop at Camp Dragonhead. Given the trouble brewing in Black Shroud, I would see that the garrison is ready to defend the border. Oh, so you get to go all the way over there? I get to run to Camp Dragonhead on foot. Don't you have, like, a carriage or something that you're using? Or are you also walking all the way to the Black Shroud? Though, actually, that's not that far. I suppose I'm not counting in, like, Gridanian time and, you know, Eorzean time, rather, so I have no idea how far it is for a normal person. It's all but a few maps away. The garrison commander waits within. Why not accompany me, Magnanimous? You may see a familiar face. Aww, you got garrisoned here! Magnanimous old girl, how wonderful to see you, and Sir Emmerich too. To what do I owe these unexpected pleasures? I will have some mulled wine brought up from the kitchens at once, if you would excuse... Nay, do not trouble yourself, Honorroyd. We shall soon be on our way. Will you see a brief summary, if you will? Yes, Lord Commander. Those villains hardly need an excuse to wage a war. Bloodletting comes as naturally as breathing to a girl. I mean, to an Imperial. And thus we should strengthen our patrols as you suggest. We shall also be sure to communicate the developments to Lord Frantical and the Observatory. I see you have everything in hand. Carry on, Commander. Any more pit stops in making sure that the world runs properly? Surprised to see yours truly at the helm. Well, yeah. I mean, you look sorta young. You and me both, old girl. I doubt I'll ever feel worthy to sit where he sat. Yet we can but play the hand we're dealt, and with a little help from the veterans and Honorroy's ceaseless chitting, I'm sure I'll muddle through. So worry not, old girl. Off to Gridania with you. I wonder if his father was just like really tired of seeing him at home. So he was like, off you go. Off you go to a garrison. Oh! I have to foot pedal all the way to Gridania all on my own. Though I can still invoke teleportation, which is nice. Or Thancred cannot. Probably a lot of Eorzeans cannot, actually. So actually, I don't know. Does the world get born with... Everyone gets born with some magic, or nah? Diplomatic duties have brought me here on several occasions, but I find that I am as enraptured by the Black Shroud's beauty now as when I first laid eyes upon it. I fear that this time, however, events shall not afford us the luxury of enjoying the splendor of the forest. Did it ever do in the past? That being said, it's really odd to see you here. Like, you even look kinda out of place. You look like your colors just fit the drab, gray environment of Ishgard. It seems we are to have an escort to the Lotus Stand. A pleasant place to discuss unpleasant matters, is it not? Yes, of course. Just like that we are the last to arrive. Let us announce ourselves, shall we? Is there somebody standing next to us, or did we just stare into the distance for a while because fun? They're really insisting on me running everywhere. The envoy from Ishgard has arrived? Very good! This way if you... Oh, and Lim Silliman's and party as well. I had hoped to slip in unannounced, but I see I was not the only one delayed in my arrival. Greetings, Sir Emmerich. Admiral! Always a pleasure. And Magnanimous, I trust you're well? This a day for reunions, it seems. I believe you are well acquainted with my escort? Lady Magnanimous, I was glad to hear from Jarl that the missing Saiyans have been found. There's much and more I would discuss with you, but let us first attend to the issue at hand, shall we?
I bid you welcome, my friends. As you will by now be aware, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have come into possession of certain intelligence concerning recent developments in the region of Gyr Abania. It springs, I am assured, from an unimpeachable source. Is that not so, Master Alphino?
Indeed, Elder Seedseer. Our information comes directly from a member of the Resistance's inner circle, and we have no cause to doubt its veracity.
This Griffin of theirs is a fool if he thinks he can hold Belsar's wall against the Empire. When the Imperials move to take it back, they will come in force. And the resulting fighting is all but certain to spill over into the Black Shroud.
At the Battle of Cartano, the combined might of 3 grand companies labored to contend with the remnants of but a single Imperial Legion. Alone, Gridania would be hard-pressed indeed to hold back the tide, should the Garleans turn their minds from reclamation to invasion.
May I once more convey my nation's deepest regrets for our inaction in the days prior to the calamity. 'Tis a stain upon our ledger that I would fain remove. Elder Seedseer, I do hereby request leave to deploy a defensive force within the borders of Gridania. Ishgard's return to the Alliance shall be honored by more than mere ink upon parchment.
The Doman people, too, would join any effort that weakens our common foe. We are few, but our most seasoned shinobi are at your disposal.
On behalf of my people, I offer you my humble thanks. Gridania welcomes your assistance.
I am so glad that we have this out of the way. Hey Gridania, you will not fall alone. The Alliance will stand with you, which is what alliances are like supposed to do.
It is time we set our contingency plans in motion. Is the Alliance agreed? Then let us make ready for war. Victory favors the swift. There is much to be done.
The Council knows that Alamigo will not soon be wrested from the Empire, and its decision to bolster the border's defences seems eminently practical. Why then, brother, do you scowl so?
I agree that they have chosen the wisest course available. Indeed, the only reasonable one. Yet something feels awry. In making ready for war, is the Alliance not granting the Griffin the very thing he desired? Any attempt to hold the wall is doomed to failure, aye. But I wonder if we have misjudged the prize for which he plays.
It would be unfair for me to answer whether or not you did, so let's just continue. That the Council was able to reach an accord so swiftly is a heartening development in itself. I only hope that my misgivings prove unfounded. Ah, good, you have yet to depart. I feared I had missed you. Sir Emmerich! Master Alpinode, a pleasure as always, and Mistress Alice, how wonderful to see you thus recovered. Pardon the interruption, I had hoped to thank Magnanimous for serving as our escort before other duties called her away. I also wish to thank our Dome and Ally. Free hiding. Forgive me, my lord, I was but awaiting an opportune moment to join the conversation, and force of habit made me keep to the shadows. No apologies are necessary, Mistress Yuguri. I was most grateful for your interjection when I offered the Ishgard support. My nation's historic failure to heed the Alliance pleas for aid is done matter of record. Even so, the Alliance leaders were plainly unprepared for my impromptu apology. The resulting air of awkwardness might have lingered longer were you not your timely offer of cooperation, which allowed the Elder Seedseer to accept us both. I very much appreciated the gesture. I only did my duty, Sir Emmerich. The Empire is an enemy to us all, and we are grateful for the opportunity to fight at your side. And full glad are we to have you. Pray convey my regards to the Saiyans, my friends. We must return to Ishgard. And thus the diplomacy begins! Stormblood has quite a lot of this, and honestly, it's really boring to me. Whether it's wrong with a simple sorry or thank you, must these politicians always make a speech out of everything? This is how we adults speak, dear sister. No, this is how pompous brats speak, Mr. Alpino. Made the ones who like the sound of their own voice. In any case, our business here is concluded. We shall be on our way as well. Will you accompany us to Revenant's Stall, Yugiri? Actually, I think I shall first pay a brief visit to the East Shroud. I'm curious to know how Papolimo and Nita fared in their talks with the Sylphs, not to mention what has been going on at Belser's War. Belser's Wall! I will join you at the Rising Stone soon. At least we don't need to escort Alpinode, so hopefully he can just come back over there to Revenant's Stall and give us, you know, a brief outlook of everything that we may have missed. That sounds good. Welcome back, Magnanimous. I don't know about you, but I'm heartily glad that all of this talking is over. I understand that the council meetings are important, but do you not find it tiresome to have to weigh every word before you speak it? I find talking tiresome in general, and you're doing a lot at the moment. I doubt I will ever feel at home in the realm of politics. You and me both, sis. That said, people have been known to change, and if my brother is willing to run his own errands, anything is possible. Ooh. Burn. Well, as much as I enjoy the bustle of the toll, I think it's time we headed inside. My brother and the others will not be long. Unless he got attacked somewhere on the way and... you know, shit happens. Ah, you are returned from the council. But what of Alpino? Did some other matter require his attention? Mine apologies, friends. I trust we have not kept you waiting over long. Greetings, everyone. Oh, Kryle, how Nago doing? She will be alright, won't she? I don't see why not. She's sleeping at the moment. Tataru's keeping an eye on her, so we'll know soon enough if there's any change in her condition. Her wounds are healing well. With sufficient rest, I am certain she will make a full recovery. Thank goodness for that. Now mayhap you would share with us the Council's decision? Each of the nations, Ishgard included, have committed to providing military support to Gridania. The Eorzea Alliance will soon have a significant force in the Black Shroud ready to respond to any Imperial act of aggression. You know, I almost wish the Council would stop messing around and give the Griffin what he wants. I wouldn't like to be the Imperial caught between the Resistance and the Alliance. Ira, you cannot... Seriously? One does not lightly go to war with the Garlean Empire. Quite. To open hostilities without due consideration would be to invite disaster. If only there was some way to reach the Griffin, some means to convince him to abandon this reckless course. It may not be entirely unfeasible. There is a network of tunnels beneath Belzer's Wall. Belzer's Wall! Secret passages dug by the Resistance to prove a way out of Alamigo, which may equally serve as a way in? Precisely. If all are in agreement, I would be the one to undertake the necessary negotiations. I am familiar with the route and the Resistance is familiar with me. About as familiar as they are with me, you mean? Say what you want, I'm coming too. I have some experience and practice of infiltration. If you would have me, my services are at your disposal. As are mine. It has been far too long since I shared a shadow with a shinobi, and I do not intend to waste the opportunity. 4 is quite sufficient for an infiltration mission. Greater numbers will only serve to increase the risk of detection. Kral and I will direct our energies elsewhere. What of you, Liviers? I will return to the East Shroud and stand watch over the border. Should matters take turn for the worst, it would seem wise to be on hand. Might I prevail upon you to accompany me, Magnanimous? Gridania will be safer for your presence, and while it may not seem the most thrilling duty, dear sister, might I ask you to remain at Rising Stones to pass the messages and so on? To hold the fort, you mean? Very well, I suppose the task must fall to someone. Safe travels, all of you. So we kinda stand there and stare at the wall? Question mark? If you have any unfinished business in the toll, pray attend to it now. I would depart for the house not without delay. The nearby watchtower offers an unobscured view of Belzer's Wall, and I shall be interested to speak to the Alliance commanders who have installed themselves to the top. This is the only quest that we're doing, so, like, I have no business to attend to whatsoever. And even if I had to, I couldn't because some big old cat is sleeping on me. He is quite cute though, and very pudgy. Ah, pudge. Ah, Magnanimous, there you are. Come, Amarisak's spire awaits. However that was pronounced. The Alliance officers on that platform should be able to apprise us of any developments at the wall. Fancy meeting the two of you here. We were about to set forth. Indeed, I was about to say, 12 watch over you, but I doubt you are in need of divine protection even if you are venturing into the enemy territory. Don't worry, Alpinode. We'll have the Griffin by the scruff of the neck before you know it. Do make up your mind, Ida. Nary a moment ago you seemed ready to shake the Griffin by the hand rather than the neck. So which is it to be? It was best to decide before we enter negotiation. Both! Do both! Trust me, Papalimo, I'll shake whatever needs shaking. The talking part I leave to you. I think I feel a headache coming on. Let's be on our way, shall we? Ah, some things never change. Well then, shall we make for the spire? Our Alliance friends will doubtless have news for us. Welcome, Warrior of Light. I assume you are here to speak with our commanding officers? You will find them at the observation platform. Pray proceed. People are speaking about why can't this game have instance housing. There's no real reason except for the fact that developers said they selected neighborhoods over instances by design, so I doubt that they're gonna change that anytime soon. Greetings, my friends. It is good to see you both well. I was hoping you might turn up. I've dragged half the watch here, see? And the sight of you might help remind them why we bothered. If memory serves, I have not seen many of you since the day of the Grand Melee. Having borne the brunt of your blows, I may say what an honor it is to stand at your side. It is heartening indeed to see the realm's most stalwart defenders thus gathered in common cause. Speaking of which, what news from the wall? All has been quiet. Oof! That's not very quiet now, is it? Report? What? 7 house! Fighting has broken out on top of the wall. A full-scale assault. So the Griffin has made his move. Someone has. And what's that supposed to mean? The attackers, they're wearing Grand Company colors. Impossible! We have no such order. Of course! The wall was never the Griffin's target. It was bait. We have been goaded into deploying our armies nearby, thus lending weight to his deception. If those uniforms were convincing enough to deceive my scouts, the Empire will surely think we launched an offensive. This could mean war. God damn it. Do not show up, microphone. It's war either way, friends. Even so, this may yet be no more than a diversion. With the armies of the Alliance occupying the Empire's attention, it would be comparatively easy for the Griffin supporters to slip into Alamigo. It could then incite a rebellion amongst the populace, which the Imperial reserves would be hard-pressed to contain. Eorzea, meanwhile, would be plunged into chaos. Magnanimous, we must make for the wall at once. Wait, just the 2 of you? Our companions embarked on a mission to sway the Griffin from his course and are likely halfway to his command post by now. They will emerge in the midst of raging battle, and I do not mean to abandon them to their fate. It will be dangerous, aye, but the confusion may work to our advantage. If we're careful to avoid skirmishing, it may be yet possible to reach Griffin, if we can do that. Lady Hilda, might I ask that you have an airship ready to bear the Saiyans to safety? Haha, I don't know who this Lady Hilda is, Marshal, but you can count on me. We must prepare for Imperial reprisals. May the Navigator guide us through the storm. And there we go. Was a really unwise cookie to, you know, position our armies nearby. I wonder if it's the fake Griffin, the real Griffin. Forward, comrades! The time has come to drive the Empire from Alamigo and force action upon those who have turned their backs on our suffering for so long. Let this victory be the first step to the liberation of our homeland. You know, if we wanted to be super mean, we could have just moved that. Like, literally everyone. Into the Draverian Forelands we go. Alamigo will be free, no matter the cost. And then Alamigo would be taken over. Eorzea, most of it would be like taken over. But the dragons would protect us, so that's okay. That would just be incredibly a lot of people sitting in the forest around the dragons going, sup? But that would have showed the griffin. From what Papalimo told me, the trailhead should lead us into the shadow of the wall. And as we have two objectives, I suggest we divide our forces. I shall make straight ways for the tunnels and attempt to intercept their comrades ere they stumble into bloodbath. While I do so, I must ask that you scale the wall. Know that I would not propose such a course if there were any other way. But the time for subtlety is past. Pick a band of your most trusted companions and cut a path through the griffin. Make him see reason, by any means necessary. By any means necessary! Once we're free of the tunnels, we will make for your position with all due haste. And if everything proceeds according to plan, Hilda will then swoop in and spirit us away to safety. Only pray that we have enough time. Whoop whoop! I like how your most trusted companions often mean complete randoms that I have never met before that I'm gonna find through Duty Finder right now. That I would not trust a shoelace with, let alone my life. Hello, people that I would not trust my shoelaces with. I hope your life goes good, and I hope that you're also good at playing this game. That would be most useful. Good. Could this charming red mage not run right in front of me? That would be very good. Come here. And the doggo? And the running party? Okay, I think we can stand in here for a while. I think here is fine. I like over here. Over here is nice. No! God damn it! What was on our healer? And this is why I don't trust shoelaces on people. On top of that, they could have just like re-ran in that all time. They kind of chose not to. Okay, so at least we have the doggo done. Okay, here's a good answer. Nothing is on the healer. The healer just stands too close to the fighting. Which is where my people trust issues come from. Hello? 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 I can make you go closer to the door. There we go. This way, the door is nice and closed once you drop the key cards. General suggestion, never run away from the tank if you're getting attacked. Running in a circle does not help. Standing right next to the tank until they get aggro does help. Never confuse the two. Yay, bossy cakes. Bossy cakes battle. That person over there is not very healthy. I wonder if our healer is new to this or literally anyone else. Because I almost feel like they are. Like that bit, if you get big red ticky marker, you most definitely should not move. Well, that might be the different fight. I don't know. I'm not the one getting hit by this. Mostly just getting hit by the boss. I suppose just do not stack prey and everything will be hunky-dory. Yeah. Pretty like a pity. Fine. Its health is moving so slow. And this is not necessarily the fault of the game. This may just be the fault of the players. But I remember that health moving a lot faster than other teams. Oh! Now this is like an automatic way of pull a lot of enemies and your group have absolutely no say in this. This is gonna be fun. See, they're all conveyor belting. I don't have a choice. I can't make them not conveyor belt that. It is, I gotta say, quite satisfying to be AoEing them if you're the one AoEing them. Quite simply because they do melt. I remember really liking when this dungeon came out because you don't actually need to use your feet. You're just kind of getting taken places. Why can't I hit anything? Come back here. There we go. They're all in a nice pile. These things hit for like such a low amount of damage. Ah, there we go. Biggest issues with a cat lying on you for a very prolonged amount of time is that your ass starts to really hurt after a while. Yay, we're done with the choo-choo ride! And that's the second boss! That was nice and quick. And it did not require moving. I don't know why people often have trouble in here to just stop moving or doing things, because that is what you need to do. You just need to do nothing. I half wish that they would just limit break it, because very obviously the healer's having a bit of a trouble. See, I turn around because that, for the most part, stops me from auto-attacking. This is not the place where I should spend my, you know, powerful AoEs. But after this, we're gonna be grabbing a lot of enemies. Kinda hoping that my healer can handle it. Nice big wall. Come on. There's still some more. No reason to AoE them in here. There we go, this is where we stop. Explosions! Hooray! So cute. Welcome to Mr. Griffin! It is something that we do know from our past. It's okay, kitty, I'm just dragging you up so that you do not fall off. At the end of the expansion, everyone loved to quote him because his catchphrase is sloppy. And I'm not kidding. Sloppy! You'll see. Ah yes, I am not the only one to have been here for the first time. Three! 3 of us! Okay, alrighty then. Unfortunately, Mr. Sloppy hits hard.
How do you like these?
How do you like these?
Sloppy.
There you go! Sloppy!
There you limb from limb. Sloppy.
More sloppies.
For our amigo!
For our amigo.
I have you now.
For God's sakes, people, please do kill this thing. A bit of trouble if you don't. I will get out of the way because they're gonna get pushed.
Sloppy.
Get the restraints off before they die. Restraints off. Thankfully, he didn't jump that far away from us. He tried jumping to the other side, but then changed his mind.
I'll tear you limb from limb. For our amigo!
Come on, one more. There we go.
I have you now. How'd you like these?
Run away. Two of them didn't. They're not the ones getting pushed, thankfully. If there ever was a good time to actually use the limit break, I think it's now. Because nobody really wanted to. Oh, hey! Forgot that weeklies haven't reset yet. That was nice. I like the extra XP.
You've beaten me, aye. But you cannot stop what I've begun. Behold, a glimpse of things to come.
We did it! We showed the bastards!
Aye!
die! Victory is ours!
And who knows, lads? Mayhap the Eorzeans will finally see sense when the enemy turns up on their bloody doorstep.
This is for Alamigo, for Eorzea. They die that others may live.
Vanguards! Attack!
Seven hells. Do you hear that?
You mean that very flimsy yell of Vanguard's attack? Heard it.
War machines. How did they get here so quickly?
By using legs.
Stand your ground! For the resistance!
There's nowhere to run. We're cut off.
Welcome to death.
Gods help us. What are we thinking? The Empire's too big. Too powerful. Mighty Ralker. Grant us the strength to crush.
That was a cat sneeze.
There you are.
As you can see, our infiltrators did not elude me for long. Lady Ugiri is sending for an airship even as we speak.
What do we do? This is a massacre!
No shit!
How wonderful to see you, Commander.
Illbird. I should have known. This has to end. It has to end now. Do you not see your countrymen dying? Have your ideals rendered you blind even to that? Order the retreat, and we will help your soldiers to safety.
Retreat? With the moment of my triumph so close at hand, you truly are a sheltered child, Leveilleur.
Nidhogg's eyes. No abyss is too deep for you, I see. But trust me when I say that such power was not meant for mortal hands.
How long have I struggled to reach this point? My countrymen, so inured to the taste of defeat, they no longer balk at its bitterness, shouting my throat raw with rallying cries, only to be greeted with dull eyes and blank faces. My brothers and sisters in Ulda have surrendered to their apathy and their appetites. Were it not for the glint of Lodorito's coin, I doubt even those here now would have answered my call. Take back our homeland! Free Alamigo! Ha! They'll happily mouth the words, but they won't spill the blood. You say no mortal should wield these eyes? Then I shall gladly become a demon. I will suckle on the souls of the hopeless and liberate the homeland they no longer deserve.
What exactly do you mean to do?
Did you hear their cries as victory was snatched away from them? Even with their dying breaths, they cursed the Empire. Never has their desire for vengeance been so raw, so true. A god has no need of faith when summoned by so pure a purpose.
Summoned? You cannot mean to fight the Empire with a primal! You know full well the danger, the futility of relying on such power!
Oh yes, I know their limitations. Which is why I will call upon a deity more terrible than the very black worm of the calamity itself.
What? Here? Now?
Like hells you will!
Well, at least he gets to look cool for his one moment of glory before his never-ending death.
An ending to mark a new beginning. My pain, my longing, you shall have it all!
Ah! Horrible noise. Oh, that's Bahamut's music.
This light, is it?
His death completed the ritual. The primal is taking shape.
Well, can't we stop it? There must be something we can do!
There is, but you won't exactly like it.
There is one thing.
What? Hey! Where do you think you're going?
Master Louisoix briefly contained Bahamut by means of a potent spell of sealing. I will now attempt to do the same.
But that's impossible! We would need hours to collect the necessary ether, if not days!
Alphino, though I concede it may not always be apparent, I was ever your grandsire's finest pupil.
Timtimati, of course! The staff still holds enormous power, broken or not.
Don't you dare, Papalymo! I know how that spell works.
It will kill him.
It is time to leave.
Quite right. Quickly now, off you go. The further away, the better.
No! If you're staying, then so am I.
No, Ida. There is a path only you can walk, and it must not end here. Not like this. Take her! Please, you have to take her!
What? No! Damn it, Thancred! Put me down! Thancred!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
Staying by his side doesn't really work, so at least we can comply with his last wish, eh?
Hilda! I think he means now!
I bid thee farewell again, my dear Ida. Now, let us see how good a student I truly was.
We have a mini Dalamud again. And we no longer have a Papalymo, but look! It will not stay for long, considering that we can just progress the storyline. You remember how I said that paths .5 are always broken down, and they like to do cliffhangers. So this was a cliffhanger. Like, they broke it off here, and then you would wait for a few months before you can continue again for the next bit of storyline. Why? Why didn't they let me stay? Papalymo is my friend. I should have been there with him. Didn't want you to die. You could see it in his eyes, Ida. He knew what he was doing, what had to be done. Master Luisa wore the same look right before the end. Do you think I don't know that? I know, right? I know! There's nothing more you could have done. Ilbert caught us off guard. Even Magnanimous was powerless to stop him. Ah, God. Emotional speeches do not mix with my stupid name. If you must blame someone, then blame me. Just promise that you will never forget what Papalymo strove to protect or the lessons he tried to teach you. Don't speak to me. Leave Ida with me. Go on, go back to the Rising Stones. The others need to know what happened here. Now the narration should now be gone, for the narrator has just died. I don't know how many games that happens in. Once again, I find myself at a loss for words. But Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and appraise our companions of all of this. Pray make your way there at once. I will send word to Y'shtola and the others of your imminent return. Funny, because we are gonna remove that moon by unleashing another disaster upon the land. We're good at this. That's getting a bit ahead, isn't it? Would seem you bring ill tidings, brother. Aye, behind the Griffith's mask we found the grinning face of an old adversary, Ilberd. I know not how, but he had in his possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual, even as we looked on. By the 12. I don't understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ounce of one's ether. No one, not even grandfather, could cast it and hope to survive. Indeed, it was ever a last resort, as I am certain Papalymo was aware. Thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even unto the grave. I have as yet been unable to explain how Ilberd came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depths of the sea of clouds, perpetual storm of water and wind aspected ether rages. No mortal could endure such conditions. And mayhap was the work of an Ascian, but now is not the time for idle speculation. While I have need of your assistance. Yes, of course. We must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our respective talents, I dare say we shall glean some measure of insight. Understood. I can't promise I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best. As shall I. Let us be about it then. What, without so much as by your leave? Pray forgive our Y'shtola her brevity. She seeks employment lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. A desire to comfort Ida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I too must contend with the grievous loss in my own way. By thy leave, Lady Elisée, I shall honor our fallen colleague through gainful study. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be poor tribute to Papalymo's sacrifice. Quite. We must begin preparations to face Ilberd, a cursed creation, without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. Well, that's a depressing achievement. School's out forever. Magnanimous, I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in the East Shroud remains largely unchanged. This is where you would have continued after the new patch has dropped. Meaning we still have no idea how long it will be before. Communication from the Alliance! One moment. Yes, of course. Our representatives will be present. My thanks. Word from Gridania. The council will shortly be reconvened. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the primal, of course, as of Ishtola's last resort, the cocoon yet hung above the wall unchanged. Yeah, but Elder Seedseer doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain so. I am told that Sid Garland has been called in to add to his expertise of proceedings. A wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Well then, I suggest we leave the Rising Stones in Tataru's capable hands and make haste for Lottostadt. Oh, I kind of forgot about him.
A word, if you would, good sir. This place, it is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay. Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes, you're in Eorzea.
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again. You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course, and set my jaw till I made port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Good God, man. Are you all right?
Everybody's all like, oh shit! He's one of the few people that made Stormblood good.
Friend.
Back to, Gridanian meetings. They always go so well. Hopefully they're voiced. Hunters Guild. Unfortunately, we have not done Realm Reborn's 24-man, because if we would have, the lines in this scene would have been a bit different.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's Wall demands that we forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
Ah, that surprised.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon, of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment. Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
What in the hells are you doing here?
That's Nero.
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
Nero.
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
Omega was not created. At least not on this planet it wasn't. Which is why it's such a big of an issue, what we're about to do. But let's think of that later.
Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartanau since the Allagans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wake it.
Well, you know, he's about to attempt it anyway.
I'm sorry. Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity. And as luck would have it, I am graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
And what, you just expect us to accept? Why would we trust the word of a man who furnished the Black Wolf with the means to subjugate Eorzea?
Because we don't have a lot of choices.
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years, studying side by side at the academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame? Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allagans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartanau while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allagans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word?
Oh, but I'll keep an eye on him.
As will I. I don't like it, but then it doesn't look like we have much choice. Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. It would seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Cartanau and take command of Omega. Cid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Saiyans, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland and supervise the other one.
The other one.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Cartanau being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
My blade is yours.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
Well, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions, not least among them how Nero chanced to learn the council meeting in the first place. That was something I haven't even thought about. I wonder if you just walk into Gridania and people are like, yep, council's having a meeting. Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alice is already on her way, and it would not do to lag too far behind. Let us be off. Okay, this is the right way. I'm having a bit of a headache, so thinking is hard. Sure. But sometimes hard thinking is good. Every time when I think that we're like, oh yeah, this happened and that happened, and then Stormblood began, I then remember another loose end that we'll have to like tie up, and another loose end that we'll have to tie up, and so on and so forth. And I'm like, I really don't remember how long this patch cycle was! But the last patch cycles are always quite long, so there's that. I mean, the last one, the one Stormblood 4.5, last update introduced like an hour-long cutscene. So imagine how long that patch cycle is if you sum it up all together. Magnanimous, Alpinode, ready to go? The others have stepped out onto the landing for a moment, lest you wonder. Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. And you'll let him? Despite his very timely offer of assistance, the thought of that man poking about in the workings of the airship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alpinode. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yugiri are. Well, here they are now. Right, I think that's everyone. Shall I set course for Cardinal? And might I ask that we delay our departure slightly? I require no more than a few hours at most. Our colleagues are studying the cocoon as we speak, and I would rather hear their latest observations ere we proceed. It would seem wise to gain a clear understanding of the situations as possible before formulating a plan. Oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such a time as we're finished procrastinating. Alright, while Alpinode speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mordona and we can reconvene at the Rising Stone. Mine apologies for the trouble. I shall visit the Stola and the others forthwith and join you as soon as I am able. Magnanimous, pray accompany Alisai back to the Rising Stones. I shall feel safer knowing that you are present to entertain our guest. Right, everyone heading to Mordona is welcome to travel aboard the Excelsior. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter here. Let her know when you're ready to leave. RMT, that is something I haven't seen in a while. You're traveling with Master Garland, miss. The Enterprise Excelsior is right this way. Of course I want to travel to Mordona. What would I do elsewhere? Just sit around? Yep. Ugh. Holding a cat is hard. Ow, ow, ow. Especially when the cat has claws. Like all cats do. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in the Toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones then? Oh, come on. It would have made a cool landing. Have you thought of landing just a tiny bit higher, like over there? That would have been closer. Ah, the good old Mordona. The first town that was rebuilt over time. In Stormblood, we were rebuilding Doma, but not patch to patch, but it depends on how much items you sacrifice to it. But it wasn't as exciting because it was like a tiny instance and not the place that you visit all the time.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Saiyans. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight.
Why would we want magitech in our friggin' thing? We have magic.
It ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
And you can't wield magic, haha.
I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in Magitech innovation.
A kettle.
Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
Yep.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphino. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
Ah. Oh, I love him so much.
Good gods, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger. I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Yep, she does.
Gosetsu, why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly.
He wants her to come back and, like, go to war with him. And it's fine, because we're gonna help him too. It's just, he's such a pleasant character. And he stays very prominent throughout a lot of Stormblood. Until he's gone for like the last patch cycles. But he's just such a nice man.
Now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the Saiyans you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire? You, Giddy? You draw steel against the curse of Golemon?
He was like, the Empire! The Empire's here?
Then why did you not say so? My blade is oath-bound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
You're fighting the Empire? This suits me just fine. Magnanimous, wait, could I speak to you for a moment? Do you remember when I had you meet me at the Diamond Forge and we ambushed you? Well, once we had our measurements, I set to work making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I only just this moment finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it before you left here. You can try it on now if you like. I think it's a bit too elegant for a character, but yes, this is the outfit that she provides, and it actually looks pretty decent on smaller characters. I get to relieve my ass a bit and use up my legs. Assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug but not too snug, if you know what I mean. So how does it feel? You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can't tell you how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light is... So let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also suit in the Blood Pearl charm to, you know, bring you home. I'd always protect you. She's really nice. Tataru's really... Tataru is another character that I really like. I wish the quests would start giving more than 16,000 experience. That would be nice. So we have to wake Omega up, right? When do we start? Ida, are you sure that's... I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alpinode, mayhap you could return to Gridania and assist Ishtal and Cryle. Hey, Bobby. A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cartonu Expedition Party. Nero and I will focus on rooting Omega, while Magnanimous Ida and our Doman friends take care of security. The Excelsior is by the lake just outside the town. We'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. Outside of my really tired ass that's painful to sit on, all I can think about is which of the meals should I make for dinner tonight. I pre-planned my meals, so it's like... it's a choice. Ooh. Oh, it's that. I think that's like the combined fox thing that you get for getting all of the primal dogos for Stormblood that person wrote on, because that is some excellent tale. We had best be on our guard. Given that Helene Roneal was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. If Nero deemed it the obvious solution to the threat posed by the new primal, it's not impossible that Garland might do the same. Have your weapons ready and wits about you. Yar! I always have weapons and wits and shit. Weapons and wits and shit should be my new calling. I had to think that I wanted launched. Yeah, it did. God damn it. My family was still not online. So I can't ask them if everything's okay. Now where was the... Ah!
I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
Let's do it!
Convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
I know, I'm gonna send people a message.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology.
I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland. Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
Ah, I love you! It's the hammer guy! Maybe not love you, but I remember you being an interesting adversary.
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
Oh, don't you dare. Jojo!
I am Goseto, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
Jojo. No climbing up there. No! Dealing with cats is so horrible. I have one on me, one on the computer, and one's threatening to scratch the door again. Jojo. If today goes well, tomorrow we can start Gothic. But you haven't missed it yet. And it's okay, because it will probably be hours of me just going around going, help! Don't know what I'm doing! Durr!
Sting. An opening.
With Zolan's steel!
You watching, Pabalilo? No retreat. No surrender.
Aw.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
Yours are no fun.
No holding back.
I'm wondering, should I like take care of the rest of them, or should I just... Yeah, maybe I should have accidentally pressed the wrong button. Now I deal less damage, but they just took care of themselves. That's nice.
Leave this to me.
Ooh. Cutscene! Surrender, we have you outnumbered. Like that matters, your friends are very squishy. Wouldn't be the first time. Are you still playing with these soldiers? I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. Tedious stuff like peeling the potatoes. Behold, the Red Baron! Now end this nonsense. What the? No one told me they all have magic armor. Forward for the Empire! My character looks so excited. Like, yeah! The honorless Cur thinks to abandon his men. I shall see that he stares at their fate. Pray attend to the rest of his minions. Whenever I do anything in the kitchen, I tend to be really disastrous at it, which is like every night. Ah! This bar location's not very nice. Ooh.
No retreat. No surrender.
'Tis my right to strike!
Yeah, the peeler is a lot nicer, unless the potato isn't very even.
It's all over now.
This is just like extinguishing ants.
Leave this to me.
Leave what to you? The whole thing?
Have you?
More of you just, yep, move over, thank you.
You watching, Pabalilo?
He's dead, how can you be watching? I suppose she means from the heavens above. Doesn't change the fact that he's dead, though.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
No holding back.
I do like it when they're just like nicely walk forward a bit. It's very nice of them.
With Zolanstein!
This one'll sting.
No retreat. No surrender.
How many of them will there be?
To strike!
I have a feeling too many.
Leave this to me.
I mean, I'm not dying, but my comrades are.
Have you?
Starting battle is punishable by death. It's like, that's so embarrassing. Damn it all to 7th hell, I'll kill you bastards. Oh, you seem very close to death to me.
Your defense is nothing.
Yeah, you focused that literally away from my half-dead comrades. They're not very good at the survival stuff.
No holding back.
Fuck the fire. Fuck it. It doesn't matter to me that much.
With Zolanstein!
This one'll sting.
I never watched Game of Thrones. You haven't seen the last of me, mark my words. Flee! Poor Flee, dude. It's like, yeah, everyone's so scary. Okay, now let's join them in the command room, shall we?
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Grandma has probably seen sex before, it's okay. I mean, she did have kids, didn't she?
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So...
hopefully fun one.
Is, are we doing the right thing?
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah! You make decisions on your own. You have a brain in there, don't you? I mean, that is assuming, but still.
All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yes, that's the one.
So then, Grandma, did you do it doggy style? And then they go, wait, what?
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do.
That sounds half insane! Ikiri wanna off Nero?
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose.
Knowing what happens to Omega later, I kinda hate this part because it's kinda our fault, but cutscene's kinda worth it. Insane. A shame that we never see this Eastern Dragony thing ever again. We do see Omega again, but what the hell was that? Like, we don't even know his name. Where did the water even come from? Yeah! Is that a sea? Are they fighting over a sea, or did they cause a sea? And isn't that painful? I'm firing the laser on both sides. Dragon is some sort of Eastern-y thing. Depends on your dentist. Mine's pretty nice. Oh. Did we even should we be worried that Sky's like that? I think we should be worried that Sky's like that. Bye, you two.
Huh? Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
Hey, 1000. I have 2 crown teeth, if that counts. Which is where they just kind of just leave a stub and put on a full fake tooth on it.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Not very. Then again, my dentist kinda painkilled quite well. They didn't even painkilled me when they put the whole thing on it. It just kinda feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel that bad. Then again, I also had teeth taken out, and that was pretty painless too. It's white. It's like this tooth and an upper one. One of them is not glued in like completely because I practically do not have anything to glue it to. So what happens is with one of my gums, food can get inside of it. Which means that I use flossing to get it out of a gum, which is kind of gross. But it's okay, I mean I still have a tooth. So that's nice.
Right, I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Aww.
Omega destroyed the cocoon.
And that was the last of Papalymo.
Papalymo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
then he's dead. Yes. He's dead. Thought you were aware of it. In all that time that you were with the Saiyans, by the way, you could have gotten a legitimate tattoo done. Just saying. You didn't have a false one stick on by magic. I'm not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. How to tell you this? Omega's part of a race more than he's an invention, and it's pretty terrible space robots, and he is fully in control of his own mind. How about that? One moment everything was functioning perfectly and the next it wasn't. Makes no sense. We need to see what happens for ourselves soon. I do not know what the control room was for except for switching it on and off. Words can ill express how glad I am to see you unarmed. When Omega came hurling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. Ida, wait, we must! The Elder Seer is expecting us. Worry not, Alpinode. Godzatsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. My thanks, Yugiri. The council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. I testify that we switched on a machine that we have no idea how it functions, and it flew off into the Garlean territory. There's like little holes in the mask, so she probably can't see. I would say it's like armor to protect your eyes, but she has armor literally nowhere else on her body. Aww. Poor Compote. Is that one of those like very gloopy drinky things? I remember having them in school. You normally like make them with fruit and shit, and they're very gloopy. Is this where we proclaim that we're going to war? Do we actually need to be here? Isn't that kind of obvious? My friends, full eagerly have we awaited your return. Few indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done. You are too kind, Elder Seer. As I recalled, we as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in waking Omega Eye, but we lost connection with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed. What words could do justice to such a scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain, but I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its mist rose a great dragon. The pair dully set about each other in the skies over Girabani. Yeah, I never quite liked those, but yeah, my country has them too. My former country. My new country does not. My new country does not have a lot of food products that my old country had, so whenever I'm in contact with my family, they're like, "So what do you eat?" The primal might defied belief. It seemed that very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows. And it wielded such magic as I have never seen, and hope never to see again. Yay. My titty is also cough cough. It's because they're all special, except for these two. These two are like regular guards. There are things that I like from both. Like, for example, having chocolate eggs instead of, you know, real eggs during Easter. That's pretty nice. The battle raged on with no end in sight until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to a rest somewhere over Alamegan soil. I will not speak for the rest, but to my eye it seemed that each had landed a fatal blow upon each other. While most among us could think only of Bahamut when looking upon the primal's form, the Domins were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of Far Eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer to it as such. Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega, is yet unknown. We have alas no eyes on the Girabanian side of the border. Aye, which is why we have sent our main force, under the command of Marshal Terupin, to capture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we have perfect opportunity to secure Gridania's border and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself would join the Marshal and his men when the council is adjourned. Well, that explains a few things. I wager that flash of light coincided with a loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged the Megastasis system, so even if it has fallen into Empire's lap, will be of no use to them, save perhaps a statue. Correct, without me to guide their efforts, it would take them decades to decipher Omega's core functions if they managed it at all. Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns. I humbly submit the time has come for us to make contact with the resistance representatives in Garabania. Though Ilberg has forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance given the inevitability of Imperial retaliation, and by working in concert, it is not impossible that Alamigo might finally be wrestled from Garleman's grasp. Next time, have a voice actor. Or speak in shorter, plainer sentences. You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest that we retire directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we first make a small detour? Ishtal and the others have gathered in Amirasai's spire, and I imagine you too would be interested to see what has become of the wall now that the cocoon is gone. It probably looks just like the wall did before, except without the cocoon. But okay. Sure. It's important stuff. Yeah, can I purchase the DLC called Narration? That would be very nice. Unfortunately, I seem to be the only one making the audiobook version of this game. Ah, mushrooms! They thin, and then when they need to walk, they fat.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
I'm still not sure that he turned land into sea.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
Who cares about them?
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilbird's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
Well, currently I have 5 cats. And eventually I might also have a doggo and maybe a few birds, so when I will turn old, I will probably continue having many pets. And cleaning after them.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
And I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by Omega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
See, the wall's fine.
Poor Ida in the midst of all this. Have you spoken with her?
She's up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhaps she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
I'll go. Doge would be nice too. My husband just really likes animals, so he wants a lot of them.
It was all we had left of him.
You knew that it was gonna happen eventually.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Nah, we have pretty big cats. Cats may slay the pawpaw. My question was, how did she hide that hair?
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask.
Yeah, she was never Ida.
On the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too.
Just all that hair.
After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think
to name him like that.
I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know.
Well, it's not like you can hide your boobs in your ears.
Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
I don't know if it matters why she didn't tell me. I wasn't there. But let's ask anyway.
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lise. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
I mean, I could try. There.
War is upon us once more.
I could carry lip balm. I don't know about a sword. It's not big enough.
Standing against the Empire, would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
My husband tunes in and says Lise should be sued for identity theft.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
Hooray! Off on a journey you two go, hopefully not through water. Or else he won't stop to eat again, which is probably very miserable. He sent me a private Discord message, my husband, I mean. And it's because Lise took Ida's identity. Was brave of Lise to remove her mask after so long. Though she has scarce begun to come to terms with Papalymo's loss, the one act made plain her determination to move forward. That big guy should enter sentences with your shits. And should she ever falter, we shall be there to support her on this road she has resolved to walk. I understood what you meant. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell Tataru and my sister. And unfortunately, we lost the narrator, for the last one died. Ah! The final Heavensward's credits. It's funny how you have credits at 0.0 patches and then 0.5.
Children of the land, do you hear echoes of truths that once rang clear? Two souls intertwined, one true love they did find, bringing land and heavens near. But flames that burned full bright soon fell dark. Memories dimmed by shadowed hearts. In the waxing gloom did wane the lover's moon, watching as their worlds drift apart. One soul's cry, a passion welling within.
This sequence ends the strongest expansion pack that Final Fantasy XIV has had out of 2, so I'm kinda hoping that maybe the next one won't be complete shit.
Yet this bond of hope by treachery was broke, scattering her words to the wind. Swelling over long seas of blood.
I'm going to skip the rest of the credits when the song is over. I actually like this one.
To those who fight for none alone, lying empty, incomplete.
is it? I'm hoping that Shadowbringers has a good song. I think I already said that many times.
Children of the land and service, why must you turn to empty?
Gothic's next. But we're finishing the glorious cinematic before we end the stream today. There's likely like a cutscene after this because there often is. And I will return to this game, and I will do Stormblood. But I'm taking a break from it, so... return in question mark amount of time. Aww, Heavensward the book. I wish I had that. Cosplay outfits cost a lot, yo. Okay, so you have like a little ending quest. He may have mentioned, but Alpinode has appraised me of all to come pass in Gridania. Your only task now is to rest. This is the calm before the storm. Lise has chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can do to support that choice. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and opened the way to Girabania, we will have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say that cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might conceivably save is not wisdom, but indolence, correct? I, for one, look forward to joining hands with the Alamegans and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire, as I rather suspect so do you. Do we get a narrator? Quick march! The Imperials will soon come to their sentence and we must be ready to face their retribution. No, we do not, so it seems. We don't even get voice acting. Poor Pippin. Did Pippin never have a voice? I don't have fishnet! It is almost time, father. Aye, almost. Stand firm, Pippin. I learned to brace myself against the charge of the bow of Alamigo. No foe will dislodge me. I now have a very bad scene of those two sparring together and his father just throwing him around like a total ragdoll. I can sit there in the nude, Victor. I don't need clothes. Very well, Liberd. I will take our homeland back. For the both of us? When he wants fishnets, you can have them. Welcome to the pointless cutaways towards the Garlean Empire, because we care so much about what they're doing. My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed their preliminary reports. Bowser's War have fallen to the Bowser's Wall has fallen to the Eorzean Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown Akon continues, though both yet elude us. My lord, their battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? Is it just rags? Or just underwear? Forgive me, my lord, I did not intend. You will be done. Unknown? My spies tell me that Domans call it Shinryu and that it proved match for Omega. Yes, the most days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. Ah ha ha ha! I just feel like adding that. You're just seeming so delightfully evil. At the far edge of fate, the road begins anew. The heroes look to eastern skies and behold their crimson hue. I remember the really shitty laughter, but I think that was from the first part, not the second one. And this is how we end Heavensward, which means that this is where we take a break. But probably before taking a break, I should actually figure out where to repair. Maybe there's some repair in here. Probably is. Come on, I can't stand around for prolonged amounts of time in not repaired armor. It's just not appropriate. If I... Heavensward. It's like towards the heaven, I think. Do none of you have a repair vendor? God damn it. There is one over there. Yeah, like, who stands with armor like this when they're signing off for like half a year or a year? You just don't do that. That's not good practice. So yeah, thank you for watching and thank you for joining me for Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. We will continue Stormblood at some point. But tomorrow we are starting our journey, a very clunky journey into Gothic. And then later we either have Final Fantasy games, really old Elder Scrolls games, really old titles in general. Or they're cheap, and I seem to have a lot of them. So, thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow. And yeah, you just kind of undress to just like your complete underwear, and then you hand the armor and you're like, repair it please. Unless of course they hammer it on you, which wouldn't be that nice. But yeah, thank you for joining the stream.